Well, he was a Carney growing up. If I remember correctly, his parents were Carnies, and when people talk about Carney, a lot of times they don't really understand what the hell they're talking about or what it actually is, and the roots of it. Back in the day, and there still are. There's a segment that still does it to this day, not to the extent that it was done in the early days, but the carnival would travel across the country. And the
Yes.
carnival would bring with it rides and attractions and freak shows and oddities of the world, if you will, to come into your town. And they would stay, depending upon the size of the market, they would stay for so many days. And people would come from all over to ride the rides, to test their skill at the games of skill, to win a big prize, or to see the bearded lady, or to see the giant man, or to see the Siamese twins, whatever it may be. And the Carnies had a bad reputation for coming in, rigging the games, ripping people off, taking as much money as they could out of a town. And in the olden days, like during the Depression, when they would go in, got a bad reputation because people would take their hard-earned money and go and get kind of conned out of their money because of the rigged games and the way that things were laid out. And the Carnies, they became known as Carnies because they worked in the carnival and traveled from town to town. So if you're part of the carnival, you were a Carney, whether you were a performer or whether you just worked and were one of the people doing the games or a ride operator, whatever that may be, you were then a Carney. Um, the term mark, even, that we use for people. I hate that term in the wrestling business because really the only marks are the ones in the dressing rooms most of the time. And a mark was actually a mark. If you find someone that is pretty gullible or whatever, the Carney, like the boss, would go and take a piece of chalk, big wide piece of chalk, and they would, "Hey buddy, how you doing?" And as they're patting you on the back, they would mark you with a big line on your back, hence the mark. So when the operators would come through, you would either have a mark that would win the games, where you would rig them so they would win. Hey, buddy, oh my God, you're red hot. Come on, man, keep pumping in that money. They let them win one, and then they make them lose 10. So that's where the term mark came from. It was actually a mark put on people by the guy that usually ran the carnival. Go, "Hey, here's the Ms. Ark at a place at your case. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Out of bed, you want to throw the ball? All you got to do, watch how easy it is. Boom, bing, dang, down. Dude, here, try one. It's on me. Boom, oh my God, you win since it was on me. Here's a prize. All right, buddy. Hey, you want to get that big one right there? All you got to do is do that 3 more times. That's right. Bing, hey, you got it. Oh, you missed. Hey, but you can do it again, and just do the whole thing, man. So that was the carnival. Now, when people talk about the language of the carnival, it's called Karny. It has its own language. I'm not going to explain it here, but if you want to learn, if you really want to understand, there's a movie. It stars Gary Busey and Jodie Foster. It's called Karny. When I was, God, man, Tom was in California, I believe, but called me and would basically test me on what I learned, on the business and different things, and he would speak to me sometimes in Karny. I had no idea what he was talking about, so he told me to go and get this movie, Karny. So if you want to learn about the carnival, you want to learn about the inner workings of the carnival, that's the place to go, man. Go and watch that movie. Great movie. And maybe you learn a few things, or maybe you can understand a little bit about the Carney life and the Carney lifestyle and those that live that life. It's kind of like the circus in that it is your life. Everybody on the road with you is your family, and it's very family oriented and very just a close knit group of people, and very cool.